Listen, I don't know, like, anything about Mutahar. You know, Mutahar, this guy, Mutahar. Like, I just don't know anything about the guy. Other than the fact that he exists, and the fact that he posted this tweet. And this tweet, you know, him playing Wind Waker on a Steam Deck, that was enough to get basically all of Nintendo Twitter screaming at him. So I'm gonna make fun of Nintendo Twitter. Sorry, I'll say that again. I'm going to make fun of Nintendo Twitter. I don't know why that sentence is so hard to say. I'm going to make fun of Nintendo Twitter. I think because there's so many like light ends and light eyes in that sentence, it's hard to say. I'm going to make fun of Nintendo Twitter. But like, do not consider this video as an endorsement of Mutahar or an endorsement of anything he's associated with, but rather a roasting of Nintendo Twitter because Mutahar posted this picture where all he was doing was playing Wind Waker on a Steam Deck. And apparently that was so fucking offensive to Nintendo Twitter that they just had to let Mutahar know how much of a piece of shit he was for playing a Nintendo game on non-Nintendo hardware. Because, you know, Nintendo guys just love Nintendo games so much. They want people to play Nintendo games. They want people to experience Nintendo games, but only if you pay hundreds of dollars to Nintendo for the hardware that literally anybody can produce, because Nintendo hardware is not exactly that powerful, which is why basically any phone, any computer, any laptop can emulate Nintendo games with no problem. We, as Nintendo fans, love Nintendo games so much that we want people to experience Nintendo games. Nintendo games are so great, we want everyone to play them, but only if you pay hundreds of dollars for the hardware that Nintendo is not even remotely in the realm of being the only one who can produce that hardware. Anyone can produce that hardware that can run Nintendo games, but fuck you if you want to play Nintendo games on hardware that is not produced by Nintendo. Sincerely, the Nintendo fanboy. So, regardless of your opinion on Mutahar as a dude or a content creator, again, I don't know anything about Mutahar as a dude or as a content creator. All I know is that he posted a picture of himself playing Wind Waker on a Steam Deck, and boy oh boy did the Nintendo fanboys get furious with him for that. So I'm going to look at the responses, because the Nintendo fanboys love Wind Waker so much that they will fucking kill you if you play a Nintendo game on something other than Nintendo branded hardware. Let's begin. Zicada Prime says, once again, YouTubers proving the Steam Deck isn't relevant without Nintendo games to play on it. I love that, like, the Steam Deck has existed for fucking years now. And literally from the time that the Steam Deck was announced, Nintendo fanboys were losing their minds about it. I mean, I personally made this video years ago about how the Nintendo fanboys were losing their shit over the existence of the Steam Deck. But now, fast forward a few years, and the Steam Deck is playing Nintendo games, and you guys are like, ha, the Steam Deck only exists to play Nintendo games. It's like, well, you guys were losing your minds about it before there even were Nintendo games confirmed to be playable on it. So, you know, you should be aware out of all the people, you should be more aware than anyone that this platform existed before the existence of Nintendo games on the platform. The whole point of the Steam Deck was that you could play all the Steam games on it, or, you know, a giant percentage of the Steam games on it. It's a very, very versatile handheld platform. I love my Steam Deck. I have a Steam Deck. I love the fucking thing. And you guys were so mad about it before there was any confirmation of it running Nintendo games. But now that there is confirmation of it running Nintendo games, you guys are like, you only want it because of Nintendo games. Well, you guys were mad about it before there was confirmation of Nintendo games. So, methinks you're just kind of a bitch. Anyways, next comment. Spring says the Steam Decks exist only to emulate Nintendo games because only Nintendo makes good games. I've been telling y'all. So only Nintendo makes good games. If only Nintendo makes good games, why did the Steam Deck exist then? What? Like, according to you people, only Nintendo makes good games. There's no good games other than Nintendo games. But also, according to you people, the Steam Deck only exists to play those games, but also apparently it's such a big deal that the Steam Deck now is able to emulate Nintendo games. So if the Steam Deck only could play good games, and only good games are made by Nintendo, but the Steam Deck has been in production and successfully in production for years now with no games, maybe that means there are good games outside of Nintendo, right? I think you guys are just kind of fucking dumb. Zell Cook says it seems like no one's playing the Steam library on the Steam Deck. Which, I love that. Like, yeah, guys, listen. You can play all these games in the Steam library. You can play all these emulated games on the Steam Deck. But also, if you play an emulated game on the Steam Deck, well, that means you don't play anything on the Steam library, you know, because you're not playing the Steam library game at every second of the day. Therefore, you don't play those games. Like, I just love this idea that the Nintendo fanboys seem to have, that, like, because somebody shows off that they're playing a Nintendo game on the Steam Deck, that means they don't play Steam games on the Steam Deck. When, I mean, I could literally just search Steam Deck on Twitter and get a million instances of people playing the Steam library games on the Steam Deck. Like, have you noticed that? It's like Steam Deck owners will be like, yeah, I'm playing the Steam games on the Steam Deck, and nobody says anything. And then Steam Deck owners will be like, oh, I'm playing a Nintendo game on the Steam Deck. And then the Nintendo fanboys are like, why aren't you playing the Steam Deck games? It's like, well, we were, you just weren't paying attention because you, as a Nintendo fanboy, don't think games made by people other than Nintendo exist. So, of course, you didn't notice me playing games not made by Nintendo. You don't think games made by people other than Nintendo exist. Like, this is a flawed concept in itself. Also, have you ever considered the fact that maybe Steam Deck owners don't brag about playing Steam Deck games because they're just playing games? And generally speaking, Steam Deck owners are more concerned about actually playing games than Nintendo fanboys are. Nintendo fanboys are usually more concerned with just posting pictures of the title screen of a game, while Steam Deck owners are, you know, playing the game, and they don't really care who sees them play the game. But I mean, then you have people like John Ebo, who says, quote, whenever these people brag about emulating a Nintendo game, I buy a copy. Nintendo will not lose out on the revenue on my watch. That'll show them. It's like, listen, Nintendo has really garbage business practices that have provoked people to find other avenues to play their games. But whenever people find other avenues to play their games, boy oh boy, do I make up for it by buying another copy with the same business practices that made those people not participate in the business practices. It's like, yeah, guys, Nintendo's taking advantage of you, and that's what provoked these people to not participate in Nintendo's market anymore. But whenever those people don't participate in Nintendo's market, I just participate twice as much. That'll provoke change in Nintendo's market. Like, what? Richie Studios says, honestly, PC gamers act like they just can't stand Nintendo, but they can't stop emulating Nintendo games. They are so mad Nintendo keeps their games exclusive, lol. As if these are even remotely, like, contradictory opinions to hold. Like, I can think that Nintendo makes decent games, and also think that Nintendo has garbage business practices that I don't want to participate in. And my disdain for Nintendo's business practices can grossly overtake my enjoyment of Nintendo's games. So yeah, if there's a way for me to like participate in Nintendo's games without participating in the garbage business practices, it makes total sense for me to do that. But also there's nothing contradictory about me saying, hey, Nintendo has garbage business practices, and hey, Nintendo has some decent games in their library. Especially this post. This is about Wind Waker. This game's from the GameCube era. I think that's the funniest part of this, is modern Nintendo fanboys being like, you just like Nintendo games so much, don't you? You just love Nintendo games. Meanwhile, we're over here like, yeah, this Nintendo game from 20 plus years ago was fun. Are we not seeing the irony here? Lalupa says, so if it's so great, why don't you play it on Wii U or Switch too? Again, we're talking about Wind Waker, a game from the GameCube era. Oh, why don't you play that game on the Wii U or Switch 2? Well, I mean, the game was released on the GameCube. Why should I have to play it on a new Nintendo piece of hardware if it's 20 plus years old? Also, if this game is so great, why don't you play it on a newer piece of hardware? Why would I buy a newer piece of hardware for games that are 20 plus years old, though? Right? Why are we putting value into new Nintendo hardware based on games from when I was a single-digit age old? You know? Why has there not been a better example of Nintendo's game quality? Are we not seeing the issue here? Like, if you really love Wind Waker, you'd play it on the Switch 2. It wasn't released on the Switch 2, it was released on the fucking GameCube, which was 3+ Nintendo generations of hardware ago. If I'm buying Nintendo hardware now, based on Nintendo games from the early 2000s, is that not an indication that Nintendo doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with their games or their hardware? Because something from 20 plus years ago should not be the justification to buy hardware now. At Prime Furball says PC gamers in the replies here are funny specimens because they'll simultaneously exclusively emulate Nintendo games on their Linux devices and also say Nintendo games suck and aren't that good actually. Well, I think this one's funny because, yeah, a lot of us will criticize Nintendo games because we play them first. You see how that works? It's like, the PC gamers will play Nintendo games and then not like them. It's like, yeah, we will try them and then not like them, as opposed to you who will not play them and then say you like them. Like, how dare PC gamers play the game and then not enjoy them? I just enjoy them because Nintendo's logo is on the box. Like, oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, totally. You're such a better gamer than me. Like, how are we at the point where we're talking shit on people for playing a game before they criticize it? Like, there's no way that's where we're at right now. There's no fucking way. There's no way that you think playing a game before criticizing it is a point of mockery. There's no possible way you are presenting that scenario unironically and then presenting yourself as the bigger person unironically. There's no fucking way. Capcyrus Prime says, is the point of the Steam Deck only to emulate Nintendo games? Because that's all I see people with the Steam Decks play. It's pretty much the Nintendo Switch 1.5. Again, Steam Deck players just play games. They just play games. They don't make a big deal about what games they're playing because they're just playing the games. The Steam Deck is not a status symbol the way that the Switch is a status symbol. Steam Deck players aren't just posting title screens on their Steam Deck the way that Switch players are just posting title screens on their Switches. So, of course, you only see Steam Deck owners. The Steam Deck owners are I only ever see them playing Nintendo games. That's because you only pay attention to Nintendo games. So, of course, that's all you ever see. That's not a point against the Steam Deck. That's a point against you as a gamer. You are a worse gamer than me, is my point. Next comment. Kaiser D. Rose says, you legit never play Steam Deck owners playing anything except Nintendo games for real. This is so funny to me, because like I am a Steam Deck owner. I love my Steam Deck. You know who's literally never emulated a Nintendo game on my Steam Deck? Me. I've literally never done that. But like, you wouldn't have known that, because I'm a Steam Deck owner and therefore don't just constantly post to the internet what games I'm playing at every second of the day. I just play the games. You don't have to tell everyone. What the fuck? Valentine says deadass Lamau, and then he quotes some ordinary gamers with a video that says why I'm not buying the Switch 2 right now. Another video that says Switch 2 is disappointing. I saw a lot of people posting this screenshot as if it was some dunk on Mutahar, saying like, oh, you're emulating a Nintendo game on your Steam Deck, but here's these videos about you not buying a Switch. Ooh, got him. It's like, how is this a got him? How is this a got him? He made videos about how he didn't like the Switch 2, and now he's playing GameCube games on his Steam Deck. How are these things even remotely related? Like, it's not a got him to point out that he didn't like the Switch, but does like games from the GameCube era from Nintendo. Like, how is that a got him? You know, can you even play Wind Waker on the Switch 2? That's a legit question. I don't even know. Just there were so many people trying to act like it was a goddamn to point out that Mutahar is playing Wind Waker on the Steam Deck, but also didn't like the Switch 2. It's like, yeah, if he didn't like the Switch 2, I would imagine that he would play older Nintendo games on the Steam Deck. That's not even remotely contradictory. How is this a point? It's like, oh, you didn't like the new Nintendo hardware? Well, here's this video about you not liking the new Nintendo hardware. It's like, yeah, that's entirely consistent. Like, what? The Uncanny EXP says, play some real shit like NASCAR Thunder 2004. Yeah, that's entirely valid criticism, actually. You should play NASCAR Thunder 2004, as well as what's that game called? What's that fucking game called? It's like MX versus ATV. It's some abbreviation versus ATV. I remember it coming out in like 2004, 2005. I think I want to say it's MX versus ATV. Anyways, I fucking loved that game. That game was so fun. Listen, I don't know what's going on with Mutahar. There's a lot of, apparently, according to Reddit here, there's a bunch of drama with Mutahar. But I mean, according to Reddit, this channel you're watching right now is just ripe with misinformation. So, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't watch Mutahar. I know nothing about him other than I've seen his name floating around every now and again. But here's the thing. You don't have to be some kind of Switch port beggar to want to play old GameCube games on your Steam Deck. And also, if you bought a Steam Deck and then went out of your way to emulate Nintendo games on the Steam Deck, isn't that kind of a tell that the Switch wasn't very appealing to you? Which would be a criticism of the Switch, but Nintendo fanboys just aren't capable of making criticisms of the Switch, so they don't recognize it as such? I don't know, dude. I don't know. This is me legitimately not knowing anything about what's going on. I just thought the thread was funny. So, Doofus Club time. John Egbert II, Biscuit 1101, Jerv, Zombie Killers 5072, One Man Savage, Wannabe Hobo, Grimsy, Roseblade, Mechanical Resonance, Jake Spider Monkey 1994, hashtag Bill Joe Baggins, Bo Lancaster, Blaster 2014, Jimmy Chops, Moist Man, The Panel Van, QB, Midnight, Oracle, Jeff Bandit, Max Kill, VT Gaming, Stick Rider, Muskie, Biogenesis, Cloaked Onyx, Pibble 11 Bowler Hat, Blue Hook, Post Roll Main, Egg A, Jack Candy, Lolly, Teikoku, Bonsai. What? Platypoi, Hitson, Sonoy, Henthai, Bill 310 Char, Avatar Steven is the chosen Earthbender of Disquete, Game with Dead People, Game of 12-7 YT, Chris Foy, Poppy Pinkins 97, Hyperactive Turtle, Grimm's, fucking cards, Official Drags, Get a Harpigi for Curbside Anthem, Mayo, Setsuna, West for X, Iron 6, Slick, Click, Flicks, the Blu-ray Discs 1, Delta 169, Baron Von Vonderholm, Unicorn Rocco, AI Slot, makes Microsoft, Kush, Good, Dog, Digsy, Smiler, to back of the boys, 13 dozen eggs, it's a hard no life, no payoff vector in the RA, sure you, Sick Nick, Matt Fox, Tiny 4, XG Induction, Broken Crow, Put Raphael the Rat King. I got PS5 underwear so I can enjoy shitting my pants. Vast Dennis, Jojo 6, Multi Master Killer, Tom Unknown 186718, Charlie Unicorn from Candy Mountain Cave, Edge Shadow Bear 17 and 9, Betafon 2, T Train, Disquete, Non Vola, High Volksauto, Snake Eyes 327, MK2396E, X Machina Gamma, Fire Hazard 105, Tech Gaming Slim, Jim Lore, Bowser the Second, Joe Laughs, Dust in the Moke, Local Old Dodson, Beasky Yammer, Jessica Shepard, Ricky Spalver, Dicky Dabby, Flippity Floppity Joe is my property, Corinne the Steel Angel, Harmon Smith hates Android girls and their father figures, Cyrus 771, 2 Jackson 940, Ziggity, Creed Warning 23, Max Chev, Chap, Totally Insane Joe, why are you peeing in Gara's mouth? Psst. Night of Cypher, ML04, Wolf of Minute, Iki W, Sequence Studios, Film McCracken, Ohm Gaming, Tariq, Brown Thorns Game, Magnect, Severn Evans, Mr. Sparno 3, Caroline, Airfinger, Wymix, Pow Pow, Donnie Weston, Gob Gonson, Rogue Winter 919, Zach Thing, Hammer for Hire, Ellen Noble, Frost Crystal, Scrubby's Go Ghost, Aria Soggy, Raptor Tim, Omnis F194, When in Doubt, Face the Wind, Wake It Out, Mr. Techno Squeak, Jody Peters, Smitty, McAdvertisement, Yogi Steven, Kimmigans, I American Indie, Oh No, it's Justin, Rand, Rui, Toonie Wang, Stern Wolf, 7 Retro, Westside Dylan, Seas for Cy Young 2026, Veg, Groove Now, Current Allen Spec, Solid Hathan, Free Space. Free space. It's a free space. It is just a free space. It's like in Monopoly. A free space in Monopoly. Except there is no free space in Monopoly. There's no free space in Monopoly. You're a big dumb idiot if you think free spaces in Monopoly are part of the game, because they're not. There's no free space in Monopoly. That's not part of the game. Toodles.